24 hours ago on the dot, I made a video and uploaded it about a transgender who escaped the shackles of transphobia from one country to travel to another and realized that the grass is not so greener on the other side. And you deal with the same type of problems, if not more, in another country as you did in the previous one you lived in. But what if we kicked it up a notch? Because transphobia is cool and all for some people to deal with, and they choose to deal with it in ways that make them feel safe and cared about in any given capacity. But what if we moved past transphobia and talked about that good old-fashioned racism? Because for my African American people who live in the United States, it's troublesome dealing with your neighbor with that Confederate flag and that beer belly and that really bad hair that they got to give up, and the understanding that while you live next to them, you may be unsafe because one day they might put on that hood and start hunting you down along with the police that you're always scared of. And you decide to move to Africa, of all places, and you say, this is the place for me because I'll be amongst my people because everyone in Africa loves black people, right? Not really true.
True black Africans and African Americans do not claim black Americans. We are not the same. African tends to focus on progress, family values, and community upliftment, rather than dwelling on historical grievances. They prioritize education and hard work. They don't live life blaming the white man for all their failures, challenges, or the choices that they make. Many Africans strive to give their children better opportunities and instill values like hard work and responsibilities. They don't raise their kids to hate the white man and blame them for all of their problems. That's why they can't grow. Africans are hard workers and they work on self-improvement. They hold themselves accountable for their actions instead of making everything about race and blaming the system. True Africans do not celebrate when a white kid loses his life to a black kid. The decent black Americans out there, we claim you. We see you. And we love you. Thank you for being a decent human being.
And you go there and maybe it's a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years, and you decide to say you're not a fan of living here and you would rather deal with the racism in America instead of this.
But y'all, I'd rather go back to America and deal with the racism in America before I sit here in Africa and deal with the bullshit bribery, the bullshit fraud, the bullshit scams, the bullshit too expensive, the bullshit not having no snacks, the bullshit not having no food, the bullshit electricity, the bullshit hot water, the bullshit, what's that shit called that be coming down? The bullshit animals, it's scorpions outside the house, it's big ass spiders, it's big ass lizards, colorful lizards you ain't never seen before, all in the fucking room with you, sleeping with you. All the bullshit people trying to scam you when you go outside thinking you rich, so they trying to get more money off of you. I'm really trying to wrap my head around this shit. I'm really trying to wrap my head around how are Americans coming to Africa and being happy. Please comment down below, because for me, I'm ready to go. And I always used to say, if it's up to me, it will be. And I'm going to go out to Africa and make shit happen. No, I don't want to. I want to take my businesses back to America. I want to open up shop back in America, open up my dentist office, and all the stuff that I was going to do out here in America. Steady electricity. And the only time our electricity get cut off is when we don't pay the bill. And we got it so good now, we got prepaid electricity. So if we forget to pay the bill, we put some money on that prepaid thing, and it comes right back on in 2 minutes. In less than 2 minutes. This shit right here didn't come on for 14 hours yesterday. I can't deal. I love the people. Don't get me wrong. When I'm outside, I'm having fun. I love the people. But when I come back to reality, when you come back home, home is where the heart is, right? When you come back home, you're supposed to feel comfortable. You're supposed to be happy. I'm not happy. To live in a house where you look outside and all you see is turkeys and ducks and chickens and sheeps and old malnourished cows.
I don't necessarily understand this woman's logic. Maybe she grew up like me, thinking that Africa was like this barren wasteland. You remember them commercials where they have like the sad music, a hum in the background, and a kid with a stick just walking in a complete desert, got a tooth hanging from his jawline, and the whole caption was $1 to feed this. Maybe you one of them people that thought Africa for all this time was a barren wasteland, not realizing that that was only just one part of Africa, and we as a society of people have been indoctrinated to think still to this day that Africa is a barren wasteland, and we will never escape that level of indoctrination ever. But you telling me you can't deal with bugs, the light bill, people, and all these things, you would have to deal with all that plus more in America. You got light bills in America. You got flying cockroaches in places like Texas. You have fans of the New Orleans Saints. These are evil things that people have to deal with almost everywhere. But you thought in your mind, because you were special enough and you had the ability to move to another country, you wouldn't experience that. And listen, we have a broader issue here. It's people not understanding that whatever negativity or bad things that have happened in their life in one space, you can still see that or experience that in another place. I moved from Louisiana, and I'm still haunted by logos of the New Orleans Saints almost everywhere. It's impossible. I thought I was going to have to deal with the Dallas Cowboy fans. I haven't seen a Dallas Cowboy fan once in 3 years. You people might be deranged, but I'm still dealing with it, and I know I would have to deal with it if I went to anywhere on the planet where people watch football, because they are fans of people of said thing. Just like how you would have to deal with racism if you go to Africa, or if you go to Zimbabwe, or if you go to Madagascar to chill with King Julian. You're gonna see this shit no matter what. But because people live with this mindset that the grass is greener on the other side, that's when you leave your abusive ex. That's not when you travel to another country thinking, rosy cheeked and rainbows. They got people who travel to Japan and they come back and tell you about how these people look at you like you're some criminal all the time. They got people who travel to all these different places to get away from what they perceive is the only place to experience negativity, and then come back saying, you know what? I could just deal with the negativity here, because the negativity over there, I can't understand because of their language, and I feel like they're planning to put some voodoo on me or hunt me down at any given moment. These are people not inept to understand that no matter what, you're going to experience something of a negative variety. And it sucks. It's not fun. I'm not cheering it on, but I'm saying fuck. The only way you could truly deal with it is live a life of absolute solitude, where you barely interact with the human population and you exist with your own thoughts and your own mind, and the only thing you have to worry about is not going insane. But because people tend to go insane because of things like that, because they don't actually know how to love themselves, to actually sit alone with themselves, you're going to have to deal with people and all the negative aspects and all the negative things that they do or say, whether it be about you or somebody else. It sucks that you sitting there having to deal with all these things like giant lizards and somebody in the background who also has to deal with that. But guess what? You chose to do that, and now you're sitting there just wishing the KKK come knock on your door. That sucks. But that's the life you chose for that moment. And maybe when the moment arises for you to change course, you move back and your old Uncle Steve or your neighbor Earl or your former boss at Walmart, Target, Walgreens named Jefferson can welcome you back with the slur of the hardest of ours. And maybe you'll feel comfortable knowing, at least I don't have to deal with a giant bug. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. And remember, the grass could be greener on the other side, but what really needs to be said is the grass is greener where you fucking water it. Mwah! Goodbye.